Welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 2 of the two-part series of how do you decide which college is right for you. Now in the first video I talked about some things that are very important, but we don't really think about them until we're sort of at the end of the road and it may be too late, or they're things that we don't really give much attention to in the first place. But in this video, I want to talk about more of the student experience and what you're looking for with that list of colleges that you're looking to attend. And so the first thing that you want to consider is the major that you are planning on selecting or what sort of program you want to go into. So that said, a lot of majors like the history, the business, the biology, those are offered at just about every school. But do you want to study a unique program like marine biology? And if that's the case, you're probably not likely to attend a school in Kansas, and you're more likely to attend a school in California. So think about those schools that offer the programs that you want. Another thing to consider too is if you want to study marine biology and you end up at that school, and then you find out that maybe marine biology is not your thing, do you have some options to change into majors that are of interest to you? Now I know that's very far down the road and it's very hard to kind of plan for that contingency when you're just trying to get into college in the first place, but it is one small tip and one small thing that I would recommend considering. The other thing is, what's great about the programs? Do they have world-renowned faculty? Do they pull in a lot of research grants every year? Because the research money that they bring in allows you to do some very awesome things with some very awesome equipment in some very awesome spaces. Now, it is a good selling point from the university side, but it also really enhances the experience. If you get to work alongside some really great faculty, you can start to make some really big differences yourself as a student and start to do some awesome research even as an undergrad. The other thing too is the college that houses your program, or is your specific program ranked? And what does that mean to you? There are a lot of reasons why programs are ranked, and there are a lot of reasons why the schools value that ranking. And that's great and that's important, but what matters the most is how you view that ranking. So if you want to go into pharmacy, and there is a bachelor's in pharmaceutical studies or a pre-pharmacy program, does it matter to you if that's nationally ranked? Or are you content with going to a school that you're more comfortable with that may have a program that's not ranked, but it can still get you on track to getting a doctoral, a PharmD, if you will, so you can become a practicing pharmacist? The other thing to consider too outside of the classroom is what sort of engagement opportunities and what sort of academic support is offered to students and what is provided by the university. So you have the social side, you have the clubs and the organizations, and I would argue that this is very important to your college experience for one main reason, and it's meaningful fun. So when you go to college, a lot of people want to view it as simply sitting in a classroom and preparing yourself for a career. But what matters to me, in my experience, and what matters most is what happens outside of the classroom. Because this is an experience where you're surrounded by new ideas and new people in a new environment, and you're really going to start to grow and learn a lot about yourself. And as you learn more about yourself, you're also making some very meaningful connections and some lifelong connections with a lot of your peers and a lot of faculty that will pay dividends once you graduate. So it's really a holistic experience, and it's not just studying, it's learning who you are, what you're interested in, what you're really good at, and what you want to do with that after graduation. And it can lead you down some roads that you never thought you would encounter, and it can lead to some very positive things. And speaking of life after graduation, do the schools that you're looking at, do they offer some sort of career prep program? Some schools will offer some very immersive experiences and may set you up with shadowing or apprenticeships or externships almost right away. And does that matter to you? And if it does, then that will really help you narrow down your list of schools. And if it doesn't, I think it's still something you should consider and still something to take advantage of. And a lot of these schools will have a career services office, and they can help you with interview skills and building your resume and kind of help you really get over the hump of what all of that means. And that is also something to take advantage of. So if you are looking at a school and that is something that they are constantly advertising or really emphasizing, then that may be something that could really benefit you if you go there as a student. Now, from the academic side, is there tutoring available? And yes, a lot of schools offer that tutoring, but do they offer specialized tutoring? Do they offer just more general tutoring? And who are their tutors? Are they just fellow students, or are there actual professional tutors available? And how is that advertised? I think if it's advertised a lot, if it's talked about, I think then students will take advantage of that, and it's part of the environment of that school. And similar to that, is there sort of any peer mentoring program? Some colleges will offer peer mentoring, and I like to use business as an example. So if you're a business major, you could have a business peer mentor who can kind of help you navigate the business school experience, or you could have a general peer mentor that can help guide you through your first year of college. Regardless of what that type is, peer mentoring is vital. It can really help you adapt to the college life, the college pace, and that demand, and it can really help you get on track so you can skip the mistakes that you would have made had no one told you what to look out for. And the last thing that I would ask you is, why do you want to go to this school? What makes it unique? Why is it special to you? Is it because they have an awesome football program? Is it because they're a well-known brand? Is it because it's near the beach, or it's near to family? Or is it because it's far away from family? Or is it because it's close to friends? Or maybe not at all? What matters to you? And this is where in the first video, I encouraged you to create a list and entertain all possibilities and look at all options. And with these sorts of questions, be honest with yourself. Do you really want to go far away from family? There's no judgment in that. Just know that you're answering honestly, because that will help you make a better decision. And then overall, I would say you really need to research the schools that are on your list, or that one school you want to go to. A good starting point is the website, the college's website, and a lot of them do offer virtual tour options. If you can, go visit those schools in person, because they will tell you a lot more about what you could experience than what you'll read about or hear about from others. Because when you actually step foot on that campus, you'll begin to know if you can see yourself there. And you may have done research on the website or done a virtual tour and saw some really cool buildings, but what if that was just the medical school and you're going to be a sociology major? So you may never be taking classes in those cool buildings, and you could be in some old decrepit buildings and really not have the greatest experience. The other thing too is you'll actually get to see the residence halls and what it is like to live on campus. And that's one thing I touched on in the first video as well, of whether to live on campus or not. And if they are really cool residence halls, then that could be a deciding factor for you as well. So really start to look at these little things, go there, and whether you can visit in person or whether you can just do it virtually, I encourage you to ask a lot of questions to people who work for those schools. So recruiters can help. If you have the opportunity to speak with an advisor, they can help as well. Or if you attend an orientation, anyone there will be more than happy to answer the questions that you have. And this is also your opportunity to ask the questions you've always wanted to know. A lot of students want to hold back and they want to ask a lot of those general those general questions like, are classes hard? Or how do I set up my schedule? But you really want to know about what's the classroom experience like? Do I have to talk? Do I have to answer questions? Are the faculty mean? And one way to really get a straight answer is to talk to any sort of student representative. So if you take a campus tour, more than likely a student ambassador will be giving that tour. So ask those questions to those students. They want to be asked the honest questions, and you want to know the honest answers. So this is your best chance to do that. And be completely honest and be completely upfront in what you really want to know. Because if you don't ask those questions, you won't know, and it may affect your decision-making process. So if I had to sum this up, do your research, consider all options and possibilities, and ask questions. So I really hope this helped. I really hoped it helped give you some sort of direction, and if not, let me know. And if you have any sort of questions from what I've discussed, let me know in the comments. And as always, please like and hit subscribe so I can bring you more content like this. And with that, I will see you next time.